Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com. Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. Happy 4th of July. It's Mary Payne here. I've got Kimberly, and we are here to celebrate the 4th of July by talking about 90 Day, Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 5, Suspect.
I mean, freedom, America. This is what it's all about.
That's right.
This is why people want to come here, because we're great.
Yeah, yes, that's right. It all ties together, right? People want to come here because we're so amazing.
We're so amazing.
Celebrating
We have
4th
no
of July.
problems in this country.
Everything is fine.
It's
Nothing
all
to
fine.
see.
It's fine. It's that meme where everything's on fire. No, it's
Yeah.
great. It's so great.
In the words of Kris Kardashian, you're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah. Good job, America. America, 2-time World War champions.
In the words of Devi's son, Julian. That's right. I wonder if Julian ever got together with, what's her name?
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah. I don't think so. They post a lot together, those two, Jen and Rishi.
Still?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. I've had all sorts of 90-day news over the weekend. I've seen more bad stuff from E. Scott, who's just out there getting bankruptcy and trying to get in people's DMs. E. Scott is from 90 Day Love in Paradise, where he went over and tried to get with Lydia, and then he got his old girlfriend Liz, and now apparently this week he's going to go back to Lydia.
I saw that, and she said he was being creepy, the new girlfriend.
Oh, she's like,
do you want to come with me to America? Hi.
And she's like, he's desperate. And then she leaves him at the hotel and is like, I got to go. And it's like bawling, crying and flees the scene.
So harsh.
Yeah.
He deserves it, though.
Totally.
And I'm no Lydia fan.
But we even liked Lydia and Nicole after.
No, that's saying a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. There's nobody's side to be on here. The only side to be on in that situation is Liz, the ex-girlfriend who came back, who was like, all right, well, maybe this will work out and I can get on TV. And after like one day, she was like,
I can't do it.
Nope. Can't do it. Not even to be on television. Not for that. Not even for that sweet, sweet Matt Sharp money. Can't do it. Speaking of Matt Sharp money, yesterday put out the recap of Match Me Abroad that I did with Keisha and a bonus interview that I did with Natalie. Yes. Yeah. So now I've got 2 bonus interviews up there with Susan and Natalie.
She must have been nice. I bet she was nice.
She's very cute. She giggles. And I told her giggle was so cute. And she said she never realized she did it until she saw it on the TV. Yeah. She also said that how she got on that show was because she had previously applied for 90 Day Fiance.
Interesting.
Yes.
And I just read something like that the matchmakers weren't even matchmakers, that they were just like people they knew in that country.
Well, for sure, Juan and Nina are sketch on the matchmaker, but Katerina is for sure a real matchmaker. She has an office.
She seemed legit.
Yeah. And everybody that I talked to is like, yeah, she was the best one. Yeah. But anyway, we're still loving it. We don't care. We know half the shit is fake, but this is what we do. We take it at face value.
I'm just so happy for Harold. I really need it to work out with that lady.
We all do. We all justice for Harold and Michaela / Meisha. But let's get into this show, and I hope everyone's out there enjoying your 4th of July. Maybe you're laying by a pool listening to this episode. Maybe you're in your house shielding your dogs from fireworks. My dogs don't care about fireworks. They don't. Listen, if they see a bird run across the front of the yard, they will go nuts. But a firework, they don't even lift their head up. It's real weird. It's real strange.
They have the same reaction to fireworks as Gino has when his fiance walks in a skin-tight dress. No reaction.
We're gonna get to them. Let's start out with Meisha and Nicola. My husband sent me yesterday he was texting me and I wasn't writing back because I was up in my office working on all this Poshmark stuff that I've been putting off for, I don't know, like a year. So I've been up here. I spent 2 days just putting it all on Poshmark and having the time of my life up here. So he was texting me and I wasn't looking at it. And he sent me a text and says, "You're most cute when you're on mute." And he said, "That's from one of the shows you watched. I just saw an ad for it."
Good for him. He's so proud. He's so proud.
I was like,
I was watching it with my parents, and my dad immediately was like, "Hey, Joni."
Did she take that well or no?
Every single thing that happens on the show, he somehow relates it to them. Like, do you think this, do you, like, in a, in a joking way, like everything that happens on Dateline. Like if someone gets pushed off a cliff, he's like, "Hey, Joni, go over to that cliff." It's like, it's his big running joke.
He's into dad jokes is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. It's very strange when you become a dad.
I take it in small doses.
Yeah, how you just start doing dad jokes because my husband does dad jokes.
Yeah, at a certain age, it just happens.
Nobody thinks that's funny.
Well, I just got a Twitter comment right before I logged on that said, "Is there any way Kimberly can stop laughing in quotes through every line she delivers on the podcast? I know you want us to think every word is comedy gold, but you don't have to deliver every line like it's a punchline that you can barely say without a chuckle."
Okay, that sounds like over 180 characters, number one.
It's 180 characters of hate is what it is.
Well, gosh. I mean, F you for being so happy. My God.
He doesn't have to listen. No one's forcing him.
No, it's not required listening to pass your citizenship test or anything like that. You don't have to listen. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. I just wrote, "Hey, Chuck, don't listen." His name is Chuck.
Yeah. Yeah, Chuck. How about, "Hey, Chuck, guess what?"
It better not be Libby's dad, Chuck, because I like him.
Do you like him?
I hated him at the beginning, and now I'm rooting for him.
Oh, he's always just like wiping his face off with his little meaty paws, like, ooh, crying with his tiny little hands. Chuck. Oh, my God. All right, let's get into Meisha and Nicola. And he wakes her up at 7:45 a.m. He acts like it's like noon. He's like, "Get up. Oh, my God, the day's half gone." She's like, "What time is it?" He's like, 7:45. I was like, "I will murder you if you wake me up at 7:45 and act like it's noon." No.
His personality just really went downhill in this episode. It only took one day of her being there.
It wasn't stellar to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So the producer asked her, "Did anything happen last night?" And she goes, No, nothing that God wouldn't be proud of. Like, okay, so I did jump into his bed and we had some snuggling and heavy petting, but that's okay with God.
God's okay. So you heard it from the lips of a church lady.
Yeah.
God loves heavy petting.
Right.
He loves dry hump and he loves heavy petting.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't mind a soaking.
Yeah.
Soaking is fine.
No.
Soaking is fine. Yeah.
Don't Google that if you didn't know what it was. I learned about it from your show. So, as I have learned so many things.
Did you watch Jury Duty?
No. Do they talk about soaking in Jury Duty?
There is a soaking in Jury Duty.
Oh my God.
It is hilarious. And we had a whole dinner conversation about soaking, and me and my husband
with
and my
your
son.
Kids?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Your son knew what soaking was ahead of time? Do all young people just know what soaking is?
No, but he looked it up and now he's fascinated by the whole thing. Yeah. He's about to be 18, y'all. It's fine. So, all right. So the producer asked Nicola the same question and he goes, "Oh, kissing and hugging, but no sin, no sin." And the producer says, "Well, she said there was heavy petting." And he's like, "What? No, what's that? I don't know. What is it?" He says he just feels all love for Meisha. That's all he feels. So she tells
heavy petting.
How do you not know?
No, without some sort of resolution. He has been celibate for his whole life.
For
so
always.
It seems like that would be difficult.
I don't know, Kimberly. I don't want to think about what happened after that. So he says he just feels love. He just feels so much love with her. And she tells him, post-conversion to being Catholic, this is her first time being celibate, with dating someone. And she wonders, like, how do you bridge that gap? And hugs and kisses are good, but, how can we be more affectionate? And then she says, like hot and cute.
What is she thinking they're going to do?
And he was like, I don't know, give me time. And he's like, she wants to hold hands 24 hours a day, but like, I'm working on it, but I can't always make that happen. I guess she just wants to be super PDA. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's already thinking she's too clingy, and it's day one.
Mm-hmm.
Most men would be like, do you see her? She's a smoke show.
Yeah, totally. Not Nicola. He's got lots of options. So
the fish market.
Yeah, right. So he says, so they go to do some touristy things, right? They're going to these holy sites. And he says, I'm showing you the things in the holy sites. And, of course, you're also here to see me. Haha. And she goes, well, seeing these sites and meeting your family is of the utmost importance to me on this trip. And he says, why are you dreaming to meet my mom? It's like you're going to marry my mom. Like, what? We can wait. Well, I mean, what? No, of course she's there to meet your mom. She's flown 150,000 hours to get there.
This is when he starts his mocking laughing thing that he does. When anyone brings up anything he doesn't want to talk about, he dismisses. It's like very gaslighty. Like, you think this is important? You're so stupid.
Yeah. He's like, it's not like you're going to marry my mom. If you love her so much, why don't you marry her? Duh.
It's ridiculous.
And then she says, okay, well, what about your brothers? And he goes, yeah, I have to talk to them. And she goes, do they even know I'm here in Israel? I mean, do they even know I exist? And he says, the small one knows. He says, the small knows that I'm talking to you.
There's the small and the large and the medium. It's like the three bears.
Yeah, so the small one knows. And she goes, so your other brother doesn't even know I exist? He goes, no, he's pretty busy with his family and stuff, like too busy for me to like have a conversation and she goes like, everybody in my life knows about you. And, I'm shocked that I'm being kept a secret and maybe he is ashamed of my past, being a whore and all.
Again, he's so religious that he's embarrassed by the fact that she's divorced. Most men would be like, I smell like fish and live with my mom, and I somehow landed this gorgeous woman.
Yes, I agree with that. But no. So he says, my defense is, show me in the Bible where it says you need to tell your brother you're getting married, right? And she goes,
is he going to pull that? Like, they're fighting over what kind of car to buy, and he'll be like, show me in the Bible where it says you have to have a Lexus. Because there weren't cars in the Bible. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
he's going to do that all the time.
Show me in the Bible where it says, right.
Because we live our lives 100%. I mean, maybe they do. They try to live them 100% through what the Bible says.
I don't think so, because
where in the Bible does it say you're supposed to be a sarcastic asshole?
In the Bible, it says you can't wear, like wool and cotton together or whatever. And you can't, there's lots, and you should carry around stones so that you can stone adulterers. So, if you're going to follow it, you're going to follow it. You got to follow it all. You got to stone people in the streets. Dateline. Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, Kimberly, I was listening yesterday to, or today, I've been listening to this podcast called Counter Clock. It's a story about a murder in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And they did say, somebody said, gosh, she was so great, Denise. She had a smile that could light up a room. And I was like, uh-oh.
Can I tell you?
Denise is dead, obviously.
Obviously dead. Yeah. There are so many memes that say that, a variation of that joke. And we get no credit, even though we've been saying that for 6 years.
I always would give you credit.
Thank you.
It's on your bingo card. Dateline, guys. Yeah.
We basically created. We didn't create it. Sorry, Chuck. I just laughed at my own joke.
Oh, don't chuckle, Chuck. Maybe that should have been your comeback. Okay, Chuckles. I won't chuckle, Chuck. Screw Chuck. All right, so show me in the Bible. It says you have to tell your brother you're getting married. She says, why are you laughing? If it bothers me, it should bother you. And he says, well, what does it matter who I tell, Meisha? It's not like if he says I can't marry you that I wouldn't, because it's between you and me, Meisha. And you're here and now's the time. And okay, I'll tell him. And I'll go and put out a big sign on the side of the road in Nazareth. And she goes, everything's not a joke. And it's way past time that you told them. He's like, what, Meisha? Give me my ice cream. What? Yeah.
It must be in the Bible somewhere that you're supposed to say the person's name that you're talking to in every sentence.
It must be. It must be. So it's nighttime now. And he says, what a day, Meisha. I am so tired. And she goes, yeah, like I don't want to rehash this, but, we have to talk. And
I'm going to rehash it.
I'm going to rehash it. I do want to see Israel, but I'm here only for one reason. And that's to meet you and get answers about our relationship and see what we've invested with our life for 7 years. And I want to be sure, like, you're not embarrassed of me. And what is in you that's preventing you from telling other people about us? And he goes, Meisha, you're thinking too much. I didn't believe it would be a drama between you and me, Meisha, but since I picked you up yesterday with my mom and my brother, it's just drama. You're so tired, baby. And you speak nonsense. And maybe I should get you some food. What? No. Mm-mm. No, Nicola. No. Mm-mm.
He might have said, are you on your period?
Right. He should have just ended with that. And you're probably on your period. Should I go get you some tampons? Right. And she says, okay, so I guess you're done with the conversation. And he says, you never want to be done with the conversation. And when you start to talk, you just never stop, Meisha. And you're the most cute when you're on mute. Now, listen, for somebody that English is not their first language, he's got it down.
He can rhyme. He's a poet like Osama.
That's right.
Osama.
Yeah, Osama. So she says, this is just your way of deflecting to get out of the conversation. And, she says, you need to meet me where I am, and we need to get it resolved and not sweep it under the rug. So in his talking head, he's like, I don't want this drama. It's important for me to show Meisha that I'm the man. I can listen, but I don't have to agree. And she does need to know I'm the man, and the woman cannot control the man. I'm going to need some relaxation from Meisha. She's going to need to stop bothering me.
I can't.
Yeah, it's not going to go great. This is not going to go great.
She's starting to bother you?
It's been day 2.
How did you land her? It's been like less than, you were sleeping in twin beds.
Right. So they talk, and he says, I'll listen to you, and I'm going to try to improve. And she says, yeah, but you're just saying that to get me to move on, but it's going to keep coming up until it's rectified. And she says, I've really never had a relationship. And he's never really had any relationships with women. So he does have trouble listening and working through problems, but we're going to have to learn how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Okay. All right. I don't care.
If he comes to America and tries that gaslighting BS with her daughters, they won't stand for it. Because, teens are super up on gaslighting.
They are.
They know gaslighting right when they see it.
Yeah. Us old folk, it takes us some time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to David and Sheila.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. David, the great unwashed. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I can smell it through the TV.
Take a shower, dude. Yeah.
So they keep doing that thing where they cut out the audio. And I thought the show was just going to do that to show us that he can't hear maybe once. They've done it every single scene with him, and we get it. It's starting to feel patronizing. We get it.
We get it that it is hard to be deaf, and that this is what his world is like. Yes. We get it. But I think every scene, I think you're right. It's a lot, because you keep thinking, like, is my TV on pause? Like, you keep looking up, like, is there a glitch in the Matrix? Yeah.
Joni's like, are my what do they got? Hearing aids on. Yeah. Hello, can you hear that? I don't hear anything. So he is just blown away by the traffic there in the Philippines. They are texting each other, sitting next to each other. She keeps talking, though. She doesn't quite grasp that he doesn't, she's facing forward talking. He cannot hear that, and he cannot read your lips. But so they're texting on the phone back and forth. She puts her head on his shoulders. Very cute. She doesn't seem to think that he smells, because she's getting right up in there.
Yeah, no, she's fine with it. Yeah.
So they go to this little place to eat, and she has to get up on the count. I don't think she had to. She's trying to point to like what he wants on the giant menu up on the top, and she like climbs up. She's very small, like she climbs up on the counter and to point to the menu. I guess they don't have handheld menus there. So the guy that's working there is just laughing. He has no clue what's happening. He doesn't understand that David's deaf. He doesn't know why this crazy woman is climbing on the counter. He has no clue. And then David does think the place is a little run down and it's not up to America standards.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
So we're getting that sort of vibe from David, which I was not expecting.
But remember, I don't think he's gone very far away from Nebraska other than when he went to boarding school. So
that bar that he was hanging out didn't seem that clean.
I don't think it had an A rating.
No. So but he's going to try to have a good attitude. And so then she tells him, oh, look, my mom brought me a Starbucks because she's the best ever.
Thanks, Joni.
Thanks, Joni.
We're waving. Hi.
Mary Payne. I listen to you 24 hours a day.
Well, do it.
I love your accent, and you are precious, talking about your family and everything.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's special. She can't hear me, Kimberly.
No, I know she can't hear you. Yeah.
Yes. Tell her thank you so much.
She says thank you so much.
That's so much. I like her cute hair. Yeah.
She's not. You're good. Okay, I'll feed Ginger the pup cup.
Bye.
You
guys have a Ginger too? Because we have a Ginger.
I know. Well, this is my neighbor's dog, the one that I watch all the time.
Yes,
so my god dog. So she. Okay, so then he has to go to the bathroom, David.
Yeah.
And the bathroom lock the lock on the bathroom door is broken, and but I have a feeling, judging from what he thought of that restaurant, he would not have liked the status of that bathroom anyways.
Wasn't that crazy that he put the key in and he just looks at them and was like, it broke. So nobody goes to the bathroom ever again. Sorry.
Sorry. We don't have a locksmith around here.
Yeah.
So David goes out to pee in the alley, which she encourages him to do that. And he's very embarrassed. He says, like, he thought it was going to be really romantic, their first night there. And now he's peeing in an alley. He obviously does not wash his hands after that. We see no hand sanitizer in sight. And they get their food to go. And he kind of throws down his jacket on the table and she says, oh, are you mad? She thinks he's mad. So she is like, I think that's interesting. She's very empathic and she's kind of trying to pick up on his vibe since they're not really verbally communicating very well. She's kind of like, oh, he just threw down his jacket. Does that mean he's mad? And he says, no, I'm not mad. But she's getting frustrated already by the conversation because you can't just say whatever you're thinking in your head. You have to type it out. You have to phrase it the right way. There's a language barrier and an ASL barrier and there's many barriers.
Really?
But I am still rooting for them because in their hero shot, she gives him a little kiss on the cheek and it's very cute. So
I'm rooting for them as well. And yeah, totally.
So then they do the cutting out of the sound thing again at the hotel. So that's twice in this episode. They check in at the hotel and he has a little bit of trouble communicating with the guy, and they made it seem in the preview like it was going to be a huge deal. But he's used to figuring this out. He's been doing this his whole life. You just make it work, figure it out, and he does it. So they go to the hotel room, and it has 2 beds, and these are 2 horny, hearing impaired people. So those 2 twin beds is not going to work. So
this is not Meisha and Nicola. They are not putting the Bible on the floor between them. Nope.
Nope. So they push the beds apart, but the wall is has a chunk of plaster that's falling apart, and then there's some sort of bug that they kill, and David picks it up with a tissue, and he's just very sad because he wanted it to be really romantic, and he thought this place was comfortable and reasonable on the website, but he feels misled. He maybe if he really I'm sure they have like a Marriott there or something.
Yes, I'm sure they do, because this is the same town that Big Ed went to. And
his hotel was nice, I think.
He was at a decent hotel. Yeah, the one where he told her she needed to freshen her breath and shave her legs. Yeah.
Right, because she was just disgusting.
Right.
His sex
Right.
tourist. It's disgusting. So he's a little bummed. Then they eat their takeout, and she says he's a very loud eater and sounds like a pig, but he can't hear himself. So she says, it's fine. I don't mind it. I hope she keeps that attitude.
They're eating with their hands, which is fine, which is, whatever kind of food they have. But again, I was like, I'd like to have seen some hand washing.
No washing. You already
No
peed.
washing.
You were flying for 30 hours.
Yeah.
You peed in an alley.
Yeah.
You climbed on the counter of that restaurant. There's been so many things with you were in that taxi. Just a little wipe with a sanitary wipe. I can't.
Yeah.
So, but right now she finds it cute that he eats like a pig. Maybe she could have him work on that.
Yeah,
I don't
think
know.
so.
But he can't hear it. It's not his fault.
Well, just chew with your mouth closed, maybe
Yeah.
Seems like he would have learned that at boarding school, though. It seems like a nice boarding school that he went to.
I know, but they didn't learn to read lips either. So I feel like which is fine. I'm not, whatever. So she's nervous to have sex because she's never been with a deaf person before. And I was so distracted because I'm thinking in my head, he's going to shower, right? He has to be showered. Please tell me. Dear God, tell me that he's showering. She goes into the bathroom and you think, oh, is she going to shower? And he's just sitting on the bed, kind of watching the door to the bathroom. And then she comes out for some reason in jean shorts and a tank top.
Those are her sleeping shorts.
They're sleeping jean shorts.
Yeah, that's right.
Denim is like the least comfortable material. You might as well be sleeping in a burlap sack.
I know. That's what we always say about these people that fly all the way across the world in blue jeans. And we're like, no.
Horrifying.
No.
So they get under the covers. She's in her jean shorts. He has not showered. And then he starts to kiss her and he tells us, yeah, I probably should shower. But we're like, yes.
Yes.
Because he just looks kind of greasy and I would feel disgusting. I feel disgusting just watching.
I do too.
So he's so excited. It's been 3 years since he's had sex. So he's ready. Nicola wishes. And then he like shoos out the cameraman, but there's still obviously a cameraman in the room. They do that sort of thing where he like does a big close the door, turn the lights off, get in the bed, but there's a cameraman still in the room.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, why are you locking the door? Yeah, why are you locking the door? The cameraman, he's got to go at some point.
That cameraman can smell everything that's happening. He wants to leave.
Yeah.
But so far, no major problems except the communication, which is kind of a major problem.
Which is kind of big. But yeah I'm still rooting for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, now let's move on to Tyray and air quotes Carmella.
I know when you texted me,
Barbados.
I laughed so hard. You were like, can you do David/Sheila? I'll do Tyray/phone.
You guys, sometimes I'm funny.
That was funny.
So he says it's been 2 weeks since he found out Carmella is a man named Christian and he's been catfished. And 2 weeks now he's had this information. So after 2 weeks of letting it set in, you should be all right.
So I was too hard on him, and you were right to say give him some time. He just found this out, but I think now we can agree he's had enough time.
He's had enough time now. Yeah, I think 2 weeks is 14 days.
Go through all those stages of denial, and you need to find acceptance.
So he says, but I still am trying to figure it out. It's got to be a misunderstanding because the last 4 years just can't be a lie. It's hard. I don't see the messages from her every morning like I used to, and I keep checking, and I cry when I reflect on this person just disappearing on me. Like, that's awful. So he goes to meet with his sister, LaShanti, and she says he tells her that, air quotes, Carmella has been opening his messages on Snapchat. So it's a confirmation that she is seeing them, just not responding. And LaShanti goes, okay, but you understand that's not a person named Carmella, okay? But you're still believing that that's her and you've got hope, like what's going on? And he says, well, I mean, I was thinking, okay, here's what I'm thinking. Like maybe she was in prison or something and then she didn't have access to her phone. And she goes, no, honey, seriously, come on now. I want to shake you. I want to knock some sense into your head. She's not in prison. And he goes, but maybe it's like a prison, like a pen pal thing. But now she got released and she's with her husband. And so like, that's a possibility.
Tyray is writing the next FX drama series. Like, he has such an imagination. The mental gymnastics he has done in his mind.
It's wild. And she goes, okay, listen.
But also in your fantasy, your best case scenario, in your fantasy world of excuses, she's still unavailable. She's married.
She's married. She's in prison. She's this. She's that. She's all these things. In all the scenarios, she's not a single girl that just can't get to you for some reason. Right. She's not. She hadn't fallen down a well. You know, that's going to be next. He's going to be maybe she's trapped under some rubble. I mean, that's going to be his next thing. So the sister's like, all right, look, I found out some stuff. Look, I'm going to show you this.
He's like scouring the paper for like earthquakes and building collapses. Maybe she's in that one.
Yeah, maybe she really wasn't in Barbados. Maybe she was in Turkey during the Great Earthquake. So LaShanti shows him this escort service page and has this girl, Carmella's photo on it. And it says, I'm a 31-year-old horny lady looking for a guy or a girl to go down. Satisfaction guaranteed. Towns that I service are Bakersfield, Modesto, and names all the Bakersfield type towns close there to where he lives in Menifee. So he gets up and he walks off and he throws his phone. He's like, oh, fuck this phone, man. He throws it once
not
again.
Not the phone's
like,
fault, Tyray.
Not gonna have to go back and get the phone. Throwing the phone never works out. So he says in his talking head, he's like, it's fucked up that my girlfriend is on an escort website. And
there's
like,
no girlfriend.
Seems like she would have told me that. That's something you would tell your partner if you were on an escort site. And, you know, if we're that close and we love each other and we're that close, like, I'm confused. Why wouldn't she tell me she was on an escort site? I said, he goes back and sits with LaShanti, who has the patience of a saint.
She really does.
And he looks at her and is like, I can't believe it.
This is like dealing with a family member that is in QAnon.
Yes, it is similar because you're like, everything you're saying is not, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, you're still my brother. I still love you. I'm not just going to hang you out to dry, but maybe I will just hang you out to dry if this continues on for a little bit longer.
I mean, LaShanti's sitting there like, what? And he goes, you know what? Here's my next theory is maybe Christian is Carmella's pimp and he's the one texting me because Carmella is not allowed to use the phone because Christian's the pimp. And LaShanti sits there and goes, come on, man.
I'm waiting for the evil twin. She really exists, but she has this evil twin named Christian, and Christian is out to get her because they have fought over a man in the past. And so
it's a Days of Our Lives situation is what you're saying.
And so his girlfriend is in a coma right now, which the evil twin put her into. And so she's in some sort of coma dream state, dreaming about him, while the other one is taking over the situation and trying to sabotage it.
Next week will be coma, but this is what I say to that.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Okay. So, yeah, you are so dumb. So she says, why don't we send a text to the escort site, okay, and say something like, you look familiar, can we talk? And so he goes, all right. And he goes, I Googled that phone number, and it's just another escort site with more photos. And she's like, yes, right, because this is an escort service, and she is an escort. So he says,
I don't know if that's her. That could be anybody's photo. But that it would be quite a coincidence that someone in another country was using that photo to catfish someone in Modesto, and that photo was also being used by some escort service in that area as well. Maybe that photo is being used like worldwide, and that poor girl has no idea.
Right, but remember when the sister first tried to Google reverse it, she couldn't find that picture, so it's not used worldwide.
Yeah.
So it could just be this is somebody's real picture, and somebody in Barbados did go to an escort site, and once they realized where he lived, like found a picture of somebody that lived by there, you know, I mean, now I sound like Tyray.
The whole thing is very fishy.
Yeah. Because we do see him at some point on an airplane during the previews, but that could just be him taking himself on a vacation because they always try to trick us with the previews.
It's not. I know it's not. He's going to do the worst possible thing. He's going to go to Barbados.
To just walk around the island of Barbados like, hello, Carmella? Are you Carmella?
Of David and Lana, didn't he like go, have you seen this girl? She's my girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Holding up her picture in the stores.
Did. Oh my gosh. So he says, I'm lost. I'm confused and I don't know what to believe. And I want to connect with Carmella and find out the truth. But you're not going to find it because she doesn't exist.
I don't think she exists, but I think I'm now more intrigued by this mystery because it does seem like this is a catfish episode, which is again a show that he has watched.
Yeah, right. And he still doesn't believe it.
I know. Where is Neve?
Oh. All right, let's move on to Christian and Cleo. Somebody put in our Facebook group a picture of Cleo and said, I can't believe people didn't know right away that Cleo was a trans woman. I was like, I had no idea. I thought she was just a beautiful.
That. I find that very disrespectful.
I found that offensive as well. And I was like, I didn't know. I took her for what she said. And she's a student and a model, and she's autistic, and she's transgender, and she's an Italian model that lives in London.
And I don't think it's polite to discuss, like, can you tell or can you not tell?
Right.
Although we are not super polite on this show.
We're not, but we're going to be respectful to Cleo, for sure.
I am protective of trans people, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Christian doesn't know what he's getting himself into, and it's not going to turn out well. But go ahead, Christian and Cleo.
So he goes to see this friend of his who I'm assuming you found maybe hot?
What?
I don't know your type. I mean, you liked the other guys that had the facial hair and the man bun.
The one guy. I liked the one guy, not the guy with the handlebar mustache.
And then,
no.
So this guy has like more lumber sexual.
This guy had, first of all, he had gauges in his ear.
Yeah,
and you know how I feel about that. Nope.
Yeah,
immediately. I don't care how hot you are. It's a no. Yeah. This guy was a big, burly, sweaty biker type. That's not my type.
Okay.
Yeah, not my type.
But he has a girlfriend, and he's her type, so it's all fine. So
no, they were lovely as a couple. I'm just saying no, and I'm the guy with the man bun and the beautiful face. That's my type.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay.
So he and his friend both like hot rods and old music, and I don't know why we're still learning about Christian. I guess I think he just thinks that makes him quirky. If he likes old movies and
this guy doesn't, hot rods. They don't seem to match as friends. You know what I mean?
No, that's why I believe that this friend does like those things. And I believe Christian likes those things because he thinks it makes him unique and funny in the life of the party.
Yeah, everything's about being a wild and crazy guy with Christian. Yeah.
So, oh God, he does that Saturday Night Live bit, I think.
Totally. I
think he does. He saw it on YouTube and he does it.
Yeah. I saw it when it happened.
Yeah, he's still hungover from the night before. And we learned that Cleo does not drink very much. So they're just opposites basically across the board. Mm-hmm. Cats, dogs, it's all different.
But remember, she likes psychedelics. So we'll see how he feels
that's true. Oh,
yeah.
So the guy friend thinks that he has been with Cleo longer than most women, which is fascinating because they have not, I don't think they've been talking for that long, less than a year.
Right. And they've married that other girl. Yeah.
And his girlfriend is more skeptical. We are on team skeptical around here, I think. But we want to be team hopeful. So turns out he didn't want to tell his parents that Cleo is trans because he wanted them to get to know her first. And he probably was scared. And he told some family members, and there was a huge gossip train, and the parents found out before he wanted them to. And they were not happy. So apparently some of his family members said some transphobic things, and now there is a rift betwixt them, and he does not know what to do. And he's trying to talk himself into basically disowning his family. He's saying, we're the family you choose is your friends like you that are supportive. I don't have to associate with these people. I'm not stuck with them forever. And the friend is saying, I don't buy it. He's really, really close with his family. He lives with his brother. I don't think he's going to disown them. So he's worried he's going to have to choose. Then we cut to Cleo in London. She has 2 cats in a backpack, and I like that.
That's the name of Katie's band. 2 cats in a backpack.
Yeah. And it's not that kind of backpack that I just read is not good for the cats with the little window that looks cute. It makes them look like they're an astronaut. Apparently, those are way too cramped for the cats. Don't have enough breathability. So she has a good backpack.
Okay. I didn't study it that closely, but yeah, okay.
I don't know why I just learned that. So she checks into the Airbnb that he got for them because they wanted to have privacy. And her cats, Arba and Comey, are coming with her to the Airbnb because they're basically her emotional support cats. And she thinks they walk on water, and he is not a cat person, but he better get on board.
Yeah.
They look cute, but if you're not a cat person, like I am not a cat person. I mean, I like Katie's cats, but that's...
Do you like Katie's cats?
I really put on a brave face. I think her cats are very cute, and she gets very sad if I don't love them. So I love them.
I know. I'm not a cat person either, but I do understand people have their preferences, and that's fine. I too am a dog person.
Yeah. So because his parents freaked out about her being trans, he told her, I don't think we should kiss in public at the airport. And it's felt to her like he was worried that people would see or like think he's kissing a trans person. It hurt her feelings and confused her. And
yeah, I don't get it. His parents don't live in London.
Right. I think he's just now seeing maybe he just realized that people have a problem with trans people now.
Or maybe he's just thinking like, oh, this camera's following me.
Right.
So when I kiss my girlfriend, they're going to be filming that.
That could be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, she's a beautiful woman.
She is. I agree.
I don't think anyone would think twice. And you shouldn't care what people think. But I understand it's challenging, especially his parents got into his head. So, but now Cleo's feelings are hurt, and that's what we did not want to happen. And if he's doing this as some little experiment to see if he's cool enough to handle this, then that's not cool because it's going to hurt her feelings in the end.
I know. I'm worried about Cleo's feelings.
Yeah. So he's leaving for the airport. He has a John F. Kennedy for president poster in his room because he's super quirky.
He's just a wild and crazy guy. He's just really interesting and unique, and he's got weird tastes. And like, who could be weirder than him? He should just move to. He should move to Austin. He should move to Austin and keep it weird. Like he's just crazy. Yeah.
So he tells his friend, yeah, I told her I didn't really want to kiss her at the airport because we're just meeting. And it's weird when you just meet someone and kiss them right away. And the friend right away, Mr. Lumbersexual, says, I think this is actually about your parents. They've gotten in your head. And he says, yeah, maybe. And then I was just screaming at don't break Miss Cleo's heart. I can't stand for it. And the friend tells us, I hope he gets on board because I would be hurt if someone didn't want to kiss me right away.
Right. They've been talking
and we
for
all
a long
know
time.
Mary Payne does not want to kiss him right away. We just learned that. So
I don't want to kiss who right away? The lumbersexual?
Yeah, the lumbersexual.
No, I don't. I wouldn't mind kissing that other friend though, Hot Max.
Yeah, you would kiss him right away.
Yeah.
So Christian is worried they won't have any chemistry. He has doubts because he is never been. Oh, he did try with a man, fooled around in college, that whole thing, but it didn't really work for him. And she is transgender. She's also autistic. So it's just some challenges, but he does feel a connection to her like he's never felt to any other woman in his past. So he is going. Please don't blow this, Christian.
I know.
You're going to be the most hated man in America.
Did he seem, when he was having lunch or whatever with his friends, did he seem like the pastiest, whitest man you have ever seen in your life? I was like...
Yeah, he also has a receding hairline.
Yes.
Which I did not notice before because he was in that Halloween costume.
Oh, yes. He has a receding hairline. I'm just concerned about the lack of sun, and he needs to get some
He's going
vitamin
to
D.
London, though. It's overcast there a lot.
I know. I'm worried he's going to get scurvy. He's going to end up looking like Florian. All right. Are we done with those two?
Yeah, but basically she's a precious baby angel, and this will be like what we thought Mike was, but the burped and farted all the time. We thought he was a good guy, and then we thought Jimena was just going to break his heart. It turned out he was a monster. But if Cleo proves to be the precious baby angel we think she is, then this will be a disaster, and we will riot.
Yeah, because generally it is the American in these scenarios that is the bad person.
Yeah. Am I the a-hole? That Reddit thread, it's just like American. Yeah. Are you the American in the relationship? Yes.
Yeah, the answer is probably yes. Probably yes. So let's move on to Gino and Jasmine. Day 2, he's been there. This is the second day in Panama. Panama.
I'm visiting my fiance in Panama.
Jasmine. So he says, it's day 2. She already kicked me out because I proposed a prenup. And she said some really hurtful things to me. And I don't know if she means it. She just talks a lot. I don't know. Not so sure about our future. We have all this arguing and fighting. And I got to gather my thoughts and clear my head. So he walks into like a bar and he says, do you speak English? Yeah. Okay. Can I have a beer? All right. So then he starts to tell the bartender all his woes. And he says, I got into an argument with my fiance, Jasmine, about a prenup. And maybe she's breaking up with me. Bartender says, which is the producers 100% set this up because this bartender is not just spitting out facts about prenups in Panama.
Right.
And the bartender says, in our culture, not many people do a prenup. And he goes, well, I've got all these assets and I've worked for 30 years and I don't want to lose my assets to Jasmine. And she says, well, if you want her to join your life, that's not thinking positive. And we don't really do that here. And she's like, Jasmine can pay me later. So now we see Jasmine having dinner with her sister Liz, who is either 12 or 30. We don't know. How old is Liz? Is she 12 years old or is she 30 years old?
So confused.
She seems to be so super young.
A baby.
Yeah. Very strange.
I think it's a daughter. I'm getting very confused.
Could be.
We don't see the children.
Go ahead, say it.
Where are the children?
It's like, if you don't say it, I will. So she is telling Liz, like, I'm super anxious. I have trauma with my ex-husband and this whole thing with Gino. It's like a nightmare repeating itself. And he's asking for this contract and I could end up in the streets. He gives me nothing. And I feel so abandoned. He was my world and my protector. She's snotting. She's crying.
Her hair's all the humidity. It's a lot of moisture.
Her sister's like, there is somebody out there that will give you what you deserve. And it's, I don't know
Where's
what you're getting from
Dane? The sister loved Dane, I'm sure.
Who doesn't?
I'm obsessed with Dane.
I think we do see him next episode.
I know. I'm really excited.
So Jasmine's like, I can't leave him, Liz. Love is not just a button I can push. And Liz
Much
goes,
like the butt plugs.
Those I just push right into my butt to stretch. So Liz goes, well, he hurts you so much. Why do you want to stay with him? And she's like, I love him. And maybe this is my fault because I mistreat him. And what if I accept the contract and tell him it's fine? I'll sign it. I want to marry him. And Liz says what we're all thinking, which is drink some water and calm down.
Calm down.
She goes, calm down, drink some water. Seriously.
She constantly is like, needs to take to her bed. For the
Liz is like, oh my God. So she says, I want Gino to show me that I'm worth fighting for. So she and Liz get home and Gino's not there. So she's like, I'm going to text him, okay? And then she goes, I think I'm going to go out and meet him. He's down the street at the bar. I love him. I'm obsessed with him. And I can listen to him without yelling. I can, but I need to feel like the most important person in his life because he's the most important person to me. So like you said, she walks in this skin-tight red dress, looking gorgeous because she is a gorgeous woman. And he's sitting there waiting. He's like, hi, Jasmine, have a seat. And he says, I have to
He
stand up.
gives her an obligatory, "You look nice tonight."
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't even looked.
He's like, I mean, I guess you look great in that skin tight red dress.
I do smell that perfume you sprayed up your coochie.
Yeah, into your butt plug. So he says he has to stand up for himself, and that is going to include difficult conversations with Jasmine. So it just seems very fake and staged as she walks in, and she goes, I just want to apologize for the mean things that I said. And this is the worst trait of my personality. When I get really angry, I just attack and say things. And I apologize, and money ruins everything. And he's like, well, Jasmine, I put some more thought into it. And maybe I will forget about the prenup because I don't want to lose you. And she was like, what? I am so impressed. This is the Gino I fell in love with. Talking head, he says, since he spoke to that bartender, he's really been thinking. And maybe it's a cultural difference. And yeah, he's got his investment saved and he doesn't think he's going to regret this decision because right when he gets home, he's moving all that shit to an offshore account where she can't find it.
I was just thinking that he's going to transfer it to Uncle Marco, who is going to watch it for him.
He's going to do something to hide it for sure.
He's going to hide it in the common room of Uncle Marco's apartment building complex. In a coffee can.
So he's like, listen, the prenup's not the only thing we have to work on. Maybe you can work on not saying such painful things to me all the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've been so faithful and so loyal to you, Gino. Give me a little kiss. And as they're like having this deep conversation, it's like, oh, here's a hummus platter and a burger. And she's like, thank you. I was like, didn't you just come from dinner with your sister? Now you're going to eat a burger? What?
I know, but they did do a close-up of a pizza that looked really good.
Like, what are you doing?
I'm more
so talking head, she goes, yeah, I was going to sign it, but I'm so glad I shut my mouth and didn't say it. Then
she played the right game there because when has Gino not caved?
Of course.
So if she but I thought she would pretend to still be angry because that's usually when he caves. But she's learning to work him better. If she apologizes and shows a little bit of sweetness, he caves.
Yeah, because she never generally is wrong about anything. So then she says, Gino, will you consider a will at this moment?
Oh my God, Jasmine, you just got what you wanted. Why are you bringing this up now?
He goes, what? And she goes, like, if you died, I'd be alone in the U.S. Anything can happen. He goes, what? If I die, you're going to be with my family. And she goes, they don't even like me. Here, take a bite of this food. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, he can do it now. But once the will is in place, he can't do it.
She wants a will so that if he dies before they get married, she still gets everything.
I know, but I'm saying their will is not in place yet, so he can eat right now. But after the will is in place, he needs a food tester like kings do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. She's going to kill him.
You're going to get shoved off the cliffs of Michigan on a hike that she has dragged you on.
But have you seen lately on her Instagram, she's got all her hair extensions are out and it's like straight and it's like a business lady bob.
Oh, I bet that will look really cute.
It looks really good. She's still doing her, selfies from way up down her cleavage in a gym, with her butt exercises and whatnot. But she's also doing a lot of, here's my advice, don't let anyone take away your shine. And then she says, sprinkle, sprinkle at the end of every piece of advice she gives.
I saw that.
Because she's giving you sprinkles of advice. So at the end of
trying
every
to write a book? Like
sprinkle,
sprinkle of the Jasmine soul?
Mm-hmm. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm.
My dad just really wants them to make it because he's looking forward to the season of her in Michigan being forced to shovel snow and shop at Walmart.
Yeah, I think that one of the monkeys wrote us. It says that they do have in Canton, Michigan, they do have an IKEA.
Okay,
and that's the only reason you go there. That like they probably don't even have a Target. Like you have to go to Detroit for the Target. Yeah,
she could do a number with his horrible apartment. His horrible. Yeah. He does need an IKEA.
He does. And listen, you can get a lot of stuff there for very expensive. And then Gino, when you get home from work, you need to put together 26 pieces of furniture.
This Kierkegaard.
I'll be in the gym doing my OnlyFans. Okay, let us move on to Riley and Violet. we're still hanging strong, guys. Nothing wrong with Riley yet. We're sticking to it. We're sticking to our guns
The
here.
most divisive couple. He is the most divisive man, I think, in 90-day history, according to your listeners, at least.
Yeah, people really, really think. And listen, next week we may turn on him. We don't know, but right now we still like him.
And we've been saying since the beginning, we just don't know enough yet. It could happen, but we just
it could
don't
happen.
know.
But
So they're in Vietnam, and he is a little upset that she made plans on the first day there, and he's worried she's not as invested in the relationship as he is, but he's hoping for the best, as all angry people do. And he I'm going to just keep throwing in little snide comments. He video calls his friend Tiffany with an IE at the end. And tells her that what happened where she had to go make plans. And the friend is saying, why would she make plans? And when do you get to go see her daughter that you bought gifts for? And she's taking advantage of you. You need to stand up to her for yourself. Don't be a wuss, which is totally what your friend would say if you had an anger problem.
Yeah, I also think the whole she made plans. She didn't make plans to go shopping.
A work thing. Yeah.
It was a work thing. She had to go like do a school tour to a museum with some kids or something, it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, they could have talked about this before. It's just a running theme with all of these couples.
Always, yes.
But I don't think, honestly, if he had an anger problem or was known to have an anger problem, I don't believe Tiffany would be saying, don't be such a wuss, stand up for yourself.
I agree.
She'd be like, you're terrifying when you stand up for yourself.
Right. He's huge. Yes.
So he is quite tall. So she says something like, don't fall for the beauty or the booty, but the subtitles kept cutting out. So I just kept getting beauty or the booty. So
I like it.
Don't be hypnotized by the beauty or the booty, something like that.
Yeah, I like it.
So
I like it. Tiffany put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah. And then he says, I was a little disappointed. She acted like those pearls I gave her were basic, which is a cultural misunderstanding because they actually are basic there. And but to him, it was a very expensive, nice gift. And he says, well, I also have this ring for her. And Tiffany says, that looks like a wedding band. Is that what I think it is? He says, no, it's just it's a ring, but she has to earn it. That I did not love that phrasing.
Agree.
I will say that made me cringe a little. But he's like, she has to earn it by showing that she's as serious as this relationship as I am. I came all this way. So then Violet calls and she's changed her plans so that she could see him. Yeah. And he's so happy, and he goes and meets her at the Independence Palace, and she shows him around and the history of Vietnam. And she says, I realized leaving him in the hotel room was unfair. And it's like, great, this is all going to be happy. But then we see a fault that he does have, not anger. He's a picker. He is a pokes. He can't let things go. He's a dweller. It's like, okay, but do you understand why I felt like you weren't taking this relationship seriously? And she's like, I canceled the plans. I realized I was wrong. I already said this. He's like, I just wanted you to, know that it hurt my feelings. Do you understand? And she's like, oh, look, a tank. There's a tank over there. And but also this dude is so large and tall, and he's like mopping his face because it's so humid and sweaty. And she's like, tank. And he wants to have a good old fashioned define the relationship. And she's just like, this is Vietnam. Let me show you around. I broke my plans. Let's come on. It's fine. And so she convinces him she does care, and she does appreciate that he came all this way. And she's poking him, and he says, why are you poking my fat? And I felt that hardcore.
I felt it.
That arm around the waist side hug is a nightmare. The Duggar side hug.
The Duggar side hug, yeah. And which I think she is
poking, like Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah, Pillsbury Doughboy is what I was going to say. Hee.
Yeah. And then they're walking, and he admits that his knee hurts. And she says, why didn't you tell me? And because he has a bad knee from the military. And he said, I was embarrassed. I wanted to be strong for you, and I didn't want you to think I'm this, weak guy, this decrepit old man who needs to sit down. And she's like, well, you have to tell me if you're in pain. And this is why you're here, so we can learn these things about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And again, so far, so good.
I agree.
But next week, we might have more.
Yeah.
But it could be another editing fake out.
Always. They do this to us on every show. I'm not, whatever they show us, I'm like,
I fall for it every time.
And I'm like, oh no. And then I'm like, no, wait, stop.
Yeah.
So let's go. This is our last couple. It's Amanda and Razvan, and we don't get much of them, but
thank God.
they're thank the Lord. And in the car, she's asking, do you understand why I'm upset, with the call, with the music producer, the kissing and all that? And he says,
we all understand why you're upset. And we could tell from your hero shot where you are pouting. So pouting.
He says, yes, I do understand. And I'm sorry for that. And she says, since I've been here, you haven't been very considerate of me, and I need you to hear me more. I think he's been very considerate of her. Don't you?
Absolutely. I actually do.
Yeah.
I really do. I thought he was a total player before, and I think he actually is. I mean, he kind of is. I mean, he's like a OnlyFans kind of flirting with women online kind of guy, but I really think he's been very nice, respectful of her feelings, as much as someone can be that is in their 20s and is not a widower and doesn't totally understand the situation, doesn't have kids. I think he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I agree. So he was like, that call was not in my control. And she says, well, you making the call was in your control. So maybe you didn't need to make it because it was in your control. And, you saying that like you're going to kiss a girl in the video, like this is a game to you just to see my reaction. He goes, well, yeah, in a way, I was trying to figure out if one day you're going to say you won't accept my job. And I'm afraid that one day you'll just say you're leaving because I was hurt in the past this way and this about the same thing. And then he starts crying. And
like he really does.
He's
like
really
real
crying.
Tears.
Yeah. I mean, we know he's an actor, but we don't think he's that good.
No, I don't think he's that good. Absolutely not.
And he says, I just don't want to be hurt again because the same thing happened to me with my ex not understanding my job. And in his talking head, he says, my relationship that I had with my ex was toxic. We were divorced after 6 months and it's been 2 years and I'm still upset about it. And I do worry Amanda will push me away and I just don't want to have any of these fights. I don't want to do it again. So, she says, well, okay, I'm listening, but sometimes I think like you don't hear my feelings on it. Like I've told you what my feelings are on it and I don't think you're hearing me. And he says, you're just sometimes mean with me and disconnected with me. I was like, oh, Razvan. Oh.
And it's true. She is.
It's true.
I know she's going through a lot, but she is mean.
And she says, you know what? And so she kind of like holds his hand and I think she kind of gets it. And she goes, you know what? I'm sorry if I was being distant, but I was very upset. And then he says he's sorry too. And then they say, I love you too. Kiss, kiss. So she says, I came to Romania to find out if Razvan is the perfect man for me and a great father figure for my kids.
See, so she keeps saying, don't say that part. That's making us judge you a lot that you were looking for a father figure for your kids and their dad just died within the past year.
I know. And they're carrying around that box.
And they still have the box.
Yeah. And she said, maybe I have been too hard on him and maybe I'm just not allowing myself to open up. I was like, okay, that means they're going to have sex tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, the whole thing about kissing the girl, he specifically said, if you are that upset, I won't kiss a girl in the video.
Right. But, she was like, I felt like that call was just a test and you did it on camera. And he was like, you're right. It was a test. And you failed.
He said, I wanted to see what you would say. And she's like, what is this, a game to you?
Yeah. But I didn't like that they were talking about her. And saying,
I did not.
Yeah,
you're absolutely, I forget. You're right. I did not like that they were talking about her.
Like, oh, it's a test. Is she going to be jealous?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So next time on Before the 90 Days, we meet Statler. Statler is 33 from Irving, Texas, and she has met a woman in England. And if they hit it off when she goes to visit, she's moving there. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. David and Sheila had a good night. Can't tell if anybody's showered yet. And
I don't think so. I wrote, has David still not showered?
I don't think so. Because he says he's good with his hands. So, yeah.
That room does not smell great because they didn't throw out the leftover takeout, and there's no mini fridge in that room, and they only ate like half of those, whatever that dish was. So
nobody's
and it smells like sex and takeout
and dirty people.
30 hours of traveling on a plane.
Yeah. So now we see Cleo and Christian are about to meet in person. They're both nervous. Jasmine chats with a hot guy, and I said, "Is it the Aussie? Is it Dane?" I couldn't tell.
Yes, it was Dane.
It was Dane. Yes. She saw him in the elevator down to get some ice out of the ice machine, and was like, "Hey." He's like, "Hello, Jasmine."
She calls him baby or honey. Hi, honey.
That's. Now, Riley and Violet, my note is she gets a text and he wants to see it, and she won't let him see the text, and he calls her a liar.
It's a text of a man with no shirt on.
Right.
And yeah, he says you're a liar. And because they've had this issue before, some sort of, I don't know, her talking to other people or something, and he just storms off.
Who is it a picture of? What have we been tricked into believing? We've been tricked into believing they're breaking up, and it's probably going to be like this is the cover of a box of some underwear she was buying him.
Right.
I mean, they're always doing us so dirty on this show. Oh my God. Well, that comes to the end of our recap, Kimberly, and I did text you and Katie this week, as I do, to say I hope you're covering this situation on Dateline. I'm watching it right now. I can't believe it. As I was describing it to you, the two of you were sort of writing the story out going, oh yeah, we know all about this guy. Master Bob, Big Bob. There's a sex dungeon. I was like, this guy? I was taking pictures on my TV. This guy?
I assumed you had gotten to that part already because you were so excited about the episode.
No, I knew nothing about the sex dungeon. It was a dungeon. I mean, it was gross.
I know. And poor Dennis Murphy, who's like our purest Dateline host, has to go into the sex dungeon.
It's a lot of, what is BDSM? I was like, the judge is like doing her best Wanda Sykes work. I mean, she sounded like Wanda Sykes, and she was like, and he'd walk in the courtroom, she's like, you're looking good today. I was like, are you the judge? What's happening?
I have to go back. We've covered this case twice, once for Patreon and once for our regular feed. And it's a classic. Yeah, it's an absolute classic. It's one of those salacious Datelines.
And then there was Joe, who had like a low IQ, and he kept recanting and then replaying his story. It was a great episode, this past one.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we had already done it. So
yeah, you're like, no, go ahead and watch it anyway,
again just for fun.
Anyway, it was episode 227. I went and found it. Yeah.
Thank you. Because I said 227, but you're not able to search, I guess, on your app or whatever.
Well, I just listed on Apple Podcast, and it doesn't give the number. Like, we put the number,
but can't you just search by the title?
I didn't know the title. I was going by number. So then I just searched it. It was the next day. Day. So then I just went and looked until I found it, and it was from 2021. And I listened to the whole thing. I was so excited. It's like, it's one more download for you.
Thank you.
I even listened to the commercials. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, the most exciting thing about today's episode is that I got to meet Joni.
I know.
That's exciting.
And we're not going to cut that out, are we?
No, I'm time stamping that.
She loves making cameos.
Does she?
Yeah.
She loves to come in? Oh my gosh. And you have a birthday coming up, so I'll go ahead and tell you happy birthday in case I don't talk to you before then.
Thank you. I don't say what day it is because I don't want people to steal my identity, but it is in this general area.
Yeah, I won't say what day it is, but happy birthday. Are you going to be 38?
Yep.
Okay, good.
That's good. Yep. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm getting to that age where I'm forgetting, and the number sounds not right. Like, and not even that it sounds old. It sounds like that's a mistake because but also we've had COVID and like many years of just missed nothingness.
Yes.
So it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel right.
I never know my age. And today, actually, this morning, my daughter said, oh, yeah, her friend Trevor has been staying with us, and he's coming to go with us to this 4th of July thing. She said, oh, Trevor, couldn't believe you guys are 55. And I said, that's because I'm not 55. Your father is 55. I am not 55. And she was like, you're going to be 55. I go, yeah, but I'm currently not 55.
Doesn't count till it's the day of.
Don't put me in that category, 55 plus. I'm under 50. On the little boxes that you check, I can click 48 to 54.
Cherish every second.
Every minute of it.
Mm-hmm. Is 55 the next box?
Sometimes it's like 55 to 65, yeah.
Okay. So
it's upsetting.
Okay, yeah.
It's upsetting. It's upsetting. Everybody, you know where to follow Kimberly and Katie. They have a wonderful podcast called A Date with Dateline, and they have a double date. They have a date with K and K over on YouTube where they did all of Yellow Jackets, and you can also follow them on Instagram at Dateline. You can follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. Please do so. I'm out there.
And tell a friend. Steal a friend's phone. Subscribe to Pink Shade.
Does your dog have an account? I'll take it. I'll take it. Business accounts. I'll take them all.
Mm-hmm.
Just need real followers, not robots. That's what I need.
She doesn't want to pay for it.
I'm not going to.
No.
I refuse. I can't cheat. I'm not a cheater brand.
I hear you.
Bethany Frankel reference. All right, everybody. Have a good 4th of July, and I'll talk to you on Thursday. I'll be coming to you with producer Ingrid on Thursday because she and I are going to be on a work retreat, and we're going to record from our work retreat.
I love that.
Yeah, I told her from the work retreat, there will be ropes courses. There will be trust falls. There will be group therapy. There will be putting all of your thoughts and dreams into a basket and burning them.
Yes.
And there will be shopping and there will be drinking. And I said, only
upset.
2 of those things are true. The last 2.
I love it.
Yeah, but we are going on a work retreat. So we're going to record from there about our Barely Bravo breakdown. We're going with Barely Bravo for now until we come up with a better name for Thursdays.
Okay.
Again, I need to get with Katie if she's the brains behind the operation. Yeah.
Some of your listeners had some suggestions on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, they did. They had some really good ones. Yeah. One listener even wrote me and was trying to incorporate Billie Eilish lyrics because I love Billie Eilish so much.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That was nice. So, yeah. But Bad Guy Thursday just doesn't have a ring to it. No. All right, everybody. Thank you. And
all, except for
you.
Chuck.
We love everybody but Chuck. Goodbye.
Bye.